Don, don, don. The bell, number 6 said.
All recruits leave the camp now and begin your journey, the instructor yelled. That didn't feel like 10 minutes, I heard one of the recruits quietly grumble.
I heard from a friend that they did the same thing to him and his group last year, someone said to her.
Why aren't we flying up the mountain and just summoning our familiars when we need them? Vompak complained.
The battlefield is a dangerous place, Jake said, and it's easy to see any enemy flying through the sky. That's why they want us to train close to the ground, so we can get used to traveling this way. It conceals our moves and protects our group.
Honestly, I hadn't thought of it like that. I had just assumed it was training and working with our familiars. If someone is foolish enough to get themselves and their team captured by the enemy, then they deserve what they get, Vompak scoffed.
This guy is really starting to get on my nerves, Jake said of our private connection. We need to start our climb, Six said. We don't want to be left behind. At first, every recruit and team took the same trail, but as more paths presented themselves, each team took advantage of the ones that suited their familiars best. Some went up the rocky mountain sides, others took to the trees and leapt from branch to branch, while our team was better suited to walking up the dirt for as long as we could.
We could have been there by now if we could fly, Vompak complained.
He then gave his familiar several packs on the head.
Can't you go any faster, you stupid beast?
The creature didn't seem to notice much, though. Jake stayed quiet but set daggers through Vompak. I also noticed him clenching his fist hard enough that blood started to drip from his fingers. Without saying a word, I held his hand, but he didn't stop glaring at the annoying noble. You shouldn't treat your familiars like that, Six scolded Vompak.
The way I treat my familiar is of no concern to low-borns like you, Vompak shot back.
I could almost see Jake's thought written on his face. He wanted to make Vompak stop, but he knew if he did a fight might break out. For now, it was better to put up with him. I didn't, however, expect him to do what he did next. Six, would you like a name? Jake asked, with a sadistic grin on his face. Well, of course. What Nume wouldn't want a name? Why do you ask? She wondered, confused. If you had a name, what do you imagine it would be like? He asked. I imagine having a name would be wonderful, she told him. No, sorry, I meant, what do you imagine the name would be like? Jake clarified. The name itself. She thought for a moment. I don't know, really. I would want it to be something that sounds nice and maybe easy to say, but I would also want it to sound regal and proud if I could, she told him.
Like the name Vompak,
Vompak boasted proudly, but we all ignored him. These days, I've been thinking about names, what they mean, how they affect our sense of self, Jake said. So you say you want a name that sounds nice, but is also proud. Do you have any ideas on what it might sound like?
This is a foolish conversation. We should be focused on climbing the mountain, not discussing a lowball like her getting a name, Vompak huffed.
The group fell silent. I looked down at Jake's hand, expecting to have to heal it again, but instead I saw Jake smiling. It was a knowing smile, a planning smile. It almost frightened me. Jake, we will go to jail if you kill him, I warned him privately. Killing him would be a waste and a crime. No, I have a better idea, Jake said.
You can't just go around naming everyone you meet, you know,
I told him after realizing his plan. He lost his smile and looked up at me. Why not?
Because, I said, drawing a blank.
I honestly couldn't think of a good reason. Jake had the mana reserves for it and the stamina. He had already named me and Seal with no issues. Jake, naming one Nume won't make a difference. Nobles will still act like this even if you named every commoner alive. It's just how it is and how they are. Maybe not, but I can severely annoy this particular noble. Jake chuckled. He then began speaking aloud again. How does the name Vindica sound?
For what?
Vompak asked, sounding irritated and tired of talking. I was talking to Six, he stated flatly. How does it sound as a name? It sounds like a fine name. Any Nume would be glad to have it, she said. Great, Jake announced proudly. Then it's yours. Jake was now smiling, almost from ear to ear. As soon as he said that, all of us, familiars included, came to a halt. What? Six asked, confused. Or perhaps she didn't think he was serious. Vindica. I'll give it to you as a name if you want it, Jake explained, still smiling.
Vompak looked horrified. No, I forbid it. A familiar can't name a lowball like her, Vompak protested.
Well, it's a good thing it's not up to you, huh? Jake said, beaming. You what? Six said in disbelief. Do you accept the name Vindica, or do you prefer another name? Feel free to answer honestly. I will give you a name, but if you would prefer another, I could think of one. You're the one who has to use it after all, so you should like it, Jake offered. Are you serious? Six asked. Yes, Jake said. While this was happening, Vompak was feeling in quiet rage. He seemed to almost be overflowing with anger. He even began to lose control of his mana for a moment and began the first stages of displain. I accept, the now newly christened Vindica answered.